The Sidhu versus Captain feud has been festering since 2017 when Sidhu was made a cabinet minister. It is said that Sidhu used his closeness with the Gandhi siblings to bargain for more power within the Punjab government. Things came to a head when Navjot Singh Sidhu went to Pakistan and embarrassed his chief minister by hugging the then Pak Army chief, leading to a full-blown public war of words.
Captain Amarinder Singh and Navjot Singh Sidhu have been at daggers drawn since 2017. It is said that Captain Amarinder Singh was not happy with the way the BJP leader Navjot Singh Sidhu was inducted in the Congress party just before the assembly elections in 2017. Despite the opposition from senior Congress legislators, Captain Amarinder Singh, under pressure from the Congress High Command, gave a cabinet berth to Sidhu. But cracks emerged when Sidhu tried to bargain for Deputy Chief Minister's post along with home portfolio by using his closeness to the Gandhi siblings. Captain refused to budge. The rift became public after Sidhu went to Pakistan against the wishes of his captain in 2018. Sidhu's hug for then Pakistani Army Chief General Bajwa had Amarinder Singh fuming.
How can it be that every day somebody is being shot, and whether the man who pulled the trigger is to blame or the man who gives the order, which is the chief, and the chief is Mr. General Bajwa, and to say that I don't know General Bajwa, but यहाँ लिखा होता है उनके tunic के ऊपर, that's wrong, and I think that was wrong for him to have shown the affection he did for the Pakistani Army chief.
3 months later, Captain Amarinder Singh opposed Sidhu's second visit to Pakistan.
I told him, I said, you know, I have taken this stand and this is what is in the larger interest of my state, and I think you should also reconsider your position. He said, I've already accepted the invitation. I said, well, then you can always tell them that now my chief minister has taken the stand, so I wish to, I will not be coming. But he has decided to go.
It was then that Sidhu declared that Amarinder Singh was not his captain.
अरे मेरे कैप्टन राहुल गांधी हैं, उन्होंने तो भेजा है हर जगह. क्या बात कर रहे हो यार? कौन से कैप्टन की बात कर रहे हो यार? हाँ, ओ कैप्टन अमरिंदर सिंह जी की, वो तो आर्मी के कैप्टन है भाई. मेरा कैप्टन राहुल गांधी साहब है.
At the backdrop of the sacrilege case, Sidhu opened a new front against the captain. It was the first time that the cricketer turned politician publicly accused the Punjab Chief Minister of being hand in glove with the Akalis. It is said that Sidhu was divested of his portfolio after he challenged captain's authority.
जिथे 25 पैसे पैने सी सिद्धू ने 25 पैसे पाए, जिथे 30 पैसे पाने सी उथे 30 पाए. वर्ल्ड बैंक तो लैके एक चीज़ नाल लिया के खड़ी की थी. लेकिन मैं तो कदे किसी ते उंगल चुकी नहीं, ना मैं कदे शिकायत की थी, ना ही मेरी फितरत है. चलो जे कोई उन्होंने ये लगता है यह जी गल है तो वो उन्होंने दी मर्जी है, महाबदौलत.
There has to be some discipline in the organization, and in this discipline, I have decided after seeing the performance of our ministers, I've shifted them around. Where I thought somebody is good in a particular job, I've given him that job. And here I thought power is an important thing for Punjab, one of our most important things. And I gave it to Sidhu, but he didn't want it. So I said, no, once a decision has been taken, you can't say I will take this and I will not take that. I mean, it's like some general saying, I'm not going to get posted to Ladakh, send me to Manipur.
Captain Amarinder Singh has not said a word about Navjot Singh Sidhu's recent outbursts against him, but he is believed to have told the Congress High Command that Sidhu had crossed all limits this time. The face-off has now reached a point of no return. With Manjeet Sehgal and Kamaljit Sandhu, Bureau Report, India Today.
Is the Congress pressing the self-destruct button in Punjab? Will the Gandhi family be able to resolve this battle between Navjot Singh Sidhu and Captain Amarinder Singh? Has Sidhu already made up his mind he wants to leave the Congress? If he does, will he join the AAP? If he becomes the chief ministerial face of the Aam Aadmi Party, will it be a game changer in this election? There is a lot to talk about. Remember, Punjab seemed like a very easy battle for the Congress. But the Congress doesn't like easy battles. So when the opposition is in disarray, they've now found a way of making things exciting by getting their two tallest Sardars to fight with each other. What's happening in the Congress and what might happen in Punjab? For perspective, I'm joined on this broadcast by India's leading political commentator, my colleague Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, welcome. With us, a long-time watcher of the Congress party, Rashid Kidwai, author, columnist, contributes frequently with the India Today group. We have Sanjay Jha in the Congress, out. It's complicated, but mostly out, sometimes in, but he will give a perspective of somebody who's been in the Congress. We've got Pawan Khera officially representing the Congress. He's, I'm certain, not happy with what's happening, but he'll tell us his take officially on the way things are. And Raghav Chadha is joining us. Raghav Chadha speaks good Punjabi, finds his roots in Punjab and is leading the AAP's campaign in the state. And remember, the Aam Aadmi Party was in disarray after the last Lok Sabha elections and soon after the last Assembly elections. But the Congress's infighting is giving them the sense that there is an opportunity they can capitalize on. Rajdeep, what in the world is going on? Sidhu said he's meeting Rahul Gandhi. Rahul Gandhi rolled down the windows to say, I'm not meeting anyone. What's happening? Is the Congress, according to you, starting a process of self-destruction in Punjab?
I think, Rahul, it would be too premature to call it self-destruction, but certainly it's doing itself no good by what's happening in Punjab. What's very clear is that the Congress has no clear strategy for Punjab at the moment, and that is a terrible position to be in 6 months before a major election, because you've had 4.5 years of Captain Amarinder Singh. Most of the issues which have been raised against the captain's style of functioning have existed for much of these last 4.5 years, but it's only now that the Congress seems to be willing to actually either rein in the captain or act against him. And then you have Navjot Singh Sidhu, popular but mercurial. And I think the Congress, frankly, is caught between the devil and the deep blue sea at the moment, unable to make clear choices. And I can only...
No, but Rajdeep, is it a choice between the devil and the deep blue sea? From the Congress's perspective, Captain Amarinder Singh is their best bet. You have to be completely cuckoo to be confused about that. The only man who can carry the Congress to victory in Punjab next year on his own shoulders is Captain Amarinder Singh.
That's not what the committee report says. You see, you've gone and appointed this 3-member committee to try and resolve the conflict between captain and the cricketer, which has been brewing for years. You see, the problem, the Congress's problem is that it doesn't take decisions at a time when they should be taken. They take it at a time when clearly you are being pushed to the wall, the party is hemorrhaging as a result. The point is, the committee there apparently has said that Sidhu is the most popular face. While the captain may be the most experienced face, apparently the 3-member committee that met these MLAs seems to suggest Sidhu is the most popular face. So how do you now decide between the most popular face and your stable chief minister for the last 4.5 years? And how do you reconcile them? So you see, there was a time when the Congress was very effective in conflict resolution. And we are seeing that to some extent in the BJP. Draw the contrast, Rahul, between the way the BJP handled Uttarakhand. Again, they removed the chief minister, where they removed the chief minister, or Uttar Pradesh, where clearly they had to send a message to Yogi Adityanath. But it wasn't played out like a soap opera. What's happening now is Sidhu can speak out openly against Captain Amarinder Singh, challenge his government, and yet a few days later get an audience with the party high command. Amarinder Singh, who's your chief minister for 4.5 years, doesn't get that same audience and instead is asked to go back almost like a punished school kid and told, get your act together.
No, but he is the Maharaja of Patiala. He's from a royal family. You can't mess around with him for the simple reason that he won Punjab on his own steam last time round.
No, you see, the point that the captain supporters make, which is interesting, is that not only did he win Punjab, where they got their best ever performance in 2017, he's also won local panchayat elections, district elections, corporation elections. The Congress won 8 out of the 13 seats in Punjab during the Lok Sabha polls in 2019.
And he beat Arun Jaitley in the midst of a Modi wave.
So look, the captain comes with a very strong CV. Mr. Sidhu comes with a sense of entitlement, it seems, who seems to believe today that his time has come. Look, this battle, Rahul, is being fought for who will succeed Amarinder. Sidhu feels that even if you're going to keep Captain as your chief minister now, post 2022, my time has come. And there is an old guard or a number of senior leaders in the Congress who say, look, he's only been here for 5 years. He was in the BJP. Is he going to be, is he a senior enough leader to be given chief minister? What's the message you're sending to the Bajwas and the
Who will
Randhawas?
control him? Who will control him? Navjot Singh Sidhu is a man of his own mind.
The larger issue, and I think it goes beyond the captain and Sidhu, is whether the Congress High Command commands that kind of moral and political authority today to send out a firm message to Sidhu that you can't openly challenge a chief minister just before an election, or commands the moral and political authority to tell captain that you're going to have to be more accommodative. That's the critical issue. While Ahmed Patel was there, he was almost the minder of Sidhu. If you saw, he was in charge. He was Sidhu's man manager, because Sidhu needs a man manager, someone to control him, rein him in, use him effectively. Ahmed Patel played that role. Who's going to play that role today? So there's a vacuum at the moment at the top. Sonia Gandhi, interim Congress president, semi-retired. Rahul Gandhi, at times episodic in his involvement in these issues. Ad-hocism prevails as a result. And therefore, exploiting this vacuum, you've got these two leaders fighting each other openly 6 months before
you now have a situation where you've pissed off both these leaders. You've got Captain Amarinder Singh, who obviously would not be happy with the fact that he came to Delhi, didn't get an opportunity to meet with the Gandhi family. Yet Navjot Singh Sidhu, who announced he was coming to Delhi to meet with Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi, Vadra, Rahul Gandhi rolls down his window to say, I'm actually not meeting anyone, so I don't know what you're talking about. So you've got two of these tall leaders in Punjab, both of whom are irritated, and the Congress seems to be self-destructing well once again, and Raghav Chadda is saying, maja aa raha hai. Very nice, well done.
Rahul, it's very amusing to watch veteran journalists discuss what's happening in the Congress. Everything source-based, by the way. I would request both you and Rajdeep, whenever you retire, and I hope you retire very late in your life, but whenever you retire, please do pen down a book on these sources. Who are these sources who give you all kinds of stories about my party? Now tell me.
So, okay, you tell me what's the official line?
No, what is it that we said? What is it that we said that you believe is false? If you can tell us, what is it that we said that you believe is false?
MLAs of the Aam Aadmi Party joined the Congress in Punjab, but according to Rahul Kanwal and Rajdeep Sardesai, Congress is imploding in Punjab. That's number one. Number two, did Captain
But we never used the word implosion. We said self-destruction.
You see what's happening. You don't watch your own channel, what's coming on Twitter? Implosion, confusion and chaos. That's how you introduce your program on the ticker.
No, but
so
if you don't watch your own channel,
I can tell you what was happening. Anyway, so you want me to repeat what I said, or can I continue?
Please go on.
Number two, did the captain or did Mr. Sidhu call you and tell you publicly, officially, on record, they are irritated?
No, 1 minute. Mr. Sidhu, Pawan Khera, you might recall Mr. Sidhu last week, went on a number of channels, including local Punjabi channels, attacking the government of which he's been a part.
And I've spoken to the people closest to Captain Amarinder Singh who've said in no uncertain terms that they're very upset with the manner in which Navjot Singh Sidhu is speaking against the captain publicly.
More than the captain and Mr.